For 31 days, I filmed a video every day. Because why not? I now present to you my October. Part 1. Anybody else wake up this morning and suddenly it was October? After grappling with feelings of shock and being vaguely personally offended, I decided to grab the opportunity of a new month by the horns and do a little something about it. Every day for the month of October, I'm going to film and share a short wee video like this. Something separate from the brewery, restaurant, etc. stuff. I'll still do that stuff, but this will be more. This is more for me. This is more about just me. I have two main goals in mind with this little project. First, I want to learn. I want to get better at all of this stuff. The social media, content creation, videoing, videoizing, filming. I want to get better at filming, among other things, and document that process as I learn and get better, hopefully. And second, it gives me something to do, something I know I have to do because it's going public, so there's a little accountability there, and I'm looking forward to that. I said there were two things, but I've just thought of a third one, off the cuff. The third thing is that I'm hopeful. This is, I have no idea. I don't know who's going to see this. I don't know how many people it's going to reach, but I'm hopeful that somebody else will be in some way inspired by or helped by something that I say in this coming month. I will make an effort in future to have a better plan for the video, just so I know what I'm talking about, because I'm kind of just rambling right now, which can get long-winded, and the videos might go too long. And speaking of which, I'm probably not going to really limit the time. I expect they'll be shorter than the typical videos, maybe 90 seconds. I don't want to give a real strict timeline for myself because then I'll just end up having to cut myself off in the middle of a sentence. Good morning, folks. I'm going to tell you the story of the only time I've ever been wrong ever. For several years, I was wrong about social media. Let me tell you how. I used to think that social media was just a tool for annoying people to try to become famous. Also, a place to watch fun dog videos. Now, I'm in favor of the fun dog videos. I support that. But as I learn and grow as a human person, I see the value in social media. I also see my error early on in social media because we have such power to curate the feeds we have. So when we don't like what we're getting in social media feeds, that's on us. It's our fault. So as I shifted my interests, sort of, and allowed myself to find the proper content on social media, it's not doom scrolling, as they say, anymore. I'm finding interesting, valuable things. So I want to contribute to that and no longer be incorrect about the social medias. Thank you and good night. We're on the lam today, folks. Of course, by on the lam, I mean walking. As I stroll through this vaguely eerie wood, I was listening to a recent-ish episode of Modern Wisdom, Chris Williamson's podcast. He had Robert Greene on, the 48 Laws of Power guy. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I'm going to talk about him anyway. Basically, what he said was, if you focus on your skill set and getting better at things, life kind of falls into place. If you get good enough at something, people will eventually ask you to do it. I think that kind of thing has always been true. People will always hear about, like, the best at something if you get good enough and get enough word of mouth. But now it's so much easier. There didn't used to be all that many jobs you could do in public. Now you can do anything you want and just put it online. Anything. And if you can prove you're good enough at it, somebody wants you to do it for them. Guaranteed. And it's just getting more reach. Every day, there are new people on all of these platforms. You just get on there too, show off. Try to turn your life's work into a career. Get paid doing what you love to do. That old quote, if you love what you do, you never work a day. You never do a hard day's work, something like that. I think that makes sense. But I think it's been kind of commandeered to, instead of seeking to do what you love to do, you have to learn to love what you have to do. That kind of thing probably works for a lot of people, and that's great. But we're in a new world. A lot more is possible. So go to town. Do what you want. Join the party. That's day 3. I'll see you tomorrow. I've always thought that the idea of a vision board was for the weak. However, I am now starting to see the appeal of the concept. I don't think I'm ever going to be the kind of person to have a physical board with all of my hopes and dreams on it. I like the idea now of having a place to store your goals that is visual. That's not so abstract, but I think it does have to be physical, material goals that you can shoot for. I think that's kind of the point. For example, let's say you want some outrageous Italian supercar that no one needs, but you really want it. So you put it up on your little thing, on your board, be it a physical thing or online somewhere. So now you have a material goal that has a set price, and all you have to do to get it is pay for it. It's like working backwards from something. And it's like, duh. The problem comes if you get into whatever you get into for the car. Because then when you get the car, it's like, what now? But if it's everything that comes with the car that you want, freedom, independence, wealth, status, security, if it's all of that, then you're using the concept properly. Extra points if you know and understand that it's not the supercar that provides all of that, but everything you did on the way to the supercar. So I might not be a big fan of the vision board, but I am a big fan of vision. Happy Friday. Cheers. If you also don't know how to do a lot of things, you're in the right place. Fortunately, in this modern world of ours, we have tools at our disposal to make the things we don't know how to do doable. So today, for day 5, I will be suggesting and recommending 3 of my personal favorite artificial intelligence tools. Fear not, none of these tools is likely to take over the world anytime soon. I should say that I am not affiliated with any of these tools. I'm just a fan. They're all free-ish, at least up to a point. I haven't paid anything for any of them. I've been using the free stuff that they offer. So can you. Many of you have probably already heard of a lot of these tools. They advertise all over the social medias if you are in this corner of the internet. So with that in mind, I'll begin with a new one that I've recently discovered because of one such ad, Opus Clips. They're great because you give them a long video and then it makes it into a bunch of short videos. It's neat and they caption it and they do a very good job, so I recommend that. Number 2 is InVideo, particularly their AI video generator. Basically, you just tell it what you want it to make, and it just does it. It just makes this video using stock footage and generates an AI voice and puts music behind it, and you've got your video. You can edit it as much as you want, and it's amazing. And finally, for number 3, we have Photor. Again, they offer a great deal of things. I've only really been using the text-to-image generator, which is a lot of fun. I'm aware that there are probably more powerful AI generators out there, but I like Photor because it's easy to use, it's accessible, and I've been using it a lot lately for a project, so I wanted to give them a shout out. So there you go. That's my list of the 3 AI tools I am currently using. Hope they help somebody. Always remember, these AI tools are a lot of fun, and they should be used as creative aid, not as creatives. That's all. Have a good Saturday. Know your audience, or else. I have been taking a little more time to think about what I'm going to say in these videos, but I was out last night with a friend, so I didn't. Also, it's game day, and the Rams, they're on TV today, and that's very exciting to me, so I'm kind of rolling through this. You'll note that a lot of my gear is St. Louis Rams gear, so you know I'm no bandwagon fan. I've been here for a long time, forever. I've lived through the dark ages. So last night, I'm out with my friend. We're at one of our favorite places called Wooden Iron. We go there often. Great food, great beer selection. So we're talking about the anti-copywriter, my whole little project here. And we're using wood and iron as an example for a lot of what I'm trying to do. Now, they've got 3 different locations. We were at the Midlow one because it's the best one. If you know, you know. Anyway, so each of Wood and Iron's 3 different locations has a distinctly different audience. I'm not going to get into all of it right now, but the fact is they're in 3 very different parts of town. Therefore, 3 very different audiences. But they just share, more often than not, the same post to each of the 3 Instagram accounts. That's just a prime example of not knowing your audience. And I don't mean to hate on Wood and Iron. I love Wood and Iron. It's great food, great beer selection, really good spot. But this goes not only to them, but to a great many places that don't know their audience well enough. When you try to speak to everyone, you end up speaking to no one. Not to mention that when you know who you're talking to, it tells the algorithm who you're talking to. All right, lads and lasses, that's it for me today. Horns up. I'll see everyone tomorrow. Wait, no, not everyone. I learned a great deal about copywriting, all online and all for free, and so can you. But not from me, though, obviously. Can you imagine? As I am no teacher and no expert, I thought I would take a moment to point at some of my favorite sources of copywriting and, more broadly, writing information that can be found for free on the World Wide Web. A couple of things to keep in mind with this list. First, there won't be any Schwartzes, Ogilvies, or Halberts. Everybody recommends them, so I'm going in a different direction. As I say, this is stuff that can be found online. More topical stuff. And second, yes, pretty much all of the people I'm going to recommend do sell courses or communities. As I said, I didn't spend a dime. All I'm saying is check them out online, maybe join their email list, all of which can be done for zeros. The first place I'm going to recommend is a YouTube channel called Copy That. That was where I first learned a lot of the kind of nitty-gritty of copywriting. They have a lot of information, a lot of value, and it's all just on YouTube. Next we have the first place I kind of really learned what copywriting even was. I saw this random TikTok about copywriting from this guy Mason Dewar, or Cardinal Mason as he is online. He was just talking about how copywriting changed his life and how it is not easy, but there is a clear path to be successful in it. Next, we have the very controversial Daniel Throssell, an Australian copywriter who you either like or you don't. I think he provides a lot of value in his emails, especially if you're willing to really read them and see what he's doing. A great influence for storytelling copywriting, especially in email newsletters. Lastly, we have one that's probably not quite as recognizable. I don't know. I think he's got a pretty good following on YouTube, but he goes by Matthew Online. Really useful information. It's not real flashy copywriting stuff. It's very like, this is how you do the business aspect of it, like talking about getting clients. I recommend his YouTube channel. So that's my list. But keep in mind, these are just the ones that clicked with me. You know, there's so much information out there, you're bound to find somebody that fits what you're looking for. So I hope it helps somebody, and if not, how dare you? Wanted to mix it up, so I decided to just hold the phone today. Hold the phone. Day 8 is going to prove to be similar to day 7. I won't call it a part 2, but call it a sister video. Going to give you some more recommendations for people who are online. They're going to fall into one of 4 categories, though there is a great deal of crossover. First, writing in general. Second, content creation in general. Third, mindset. And fourth, making money on the web. They all do that one. The same warning applies. These folks all sell something. I'm not telling you to go buy anything. I'm just recommending you go watch. First, we've got the grandfather of the personal brand himself, Dan Coe. Writing, mindset, work in general. Great stuff. Next, we have Matt Gray, who's another personal branding guy, content creation in general. He's way less intense than some of these other guys. Callum Johnson, YouTube channel, podcast, really cool. He gets some great guests on. It actually is how I discovered some of these other people. A guy on YouTube called Champ. I'm not sure what the rest of his name is, but he's Champ on YouTube. He's a crypto guy, but he's also a mindset guy, and he's got some really good stuff. His whole thing is just like, just do it. Like whatever it is, go for it. Take the chance. On the TikTok is Ethan Shaw, really young guy with some great broken down information about technical stuff for content creators. Then there's Kenneth or Kennovate, also on TikTok. Really useful, good mindset, good content creation, cool dude. Another one on TikTok, Coach Stone. Really no nonsense, useful information. And if for a very specific kind of person, there is Rob the Bank. If you can get past the facade and the caricature, he's got some good stuff, I promise. Finally, we have one that's a little different. It's a YouTube channel called the Digital Income Project. It's a guy with an AI avatar talking about all the various ways you can make money online through social media. He's very technical about this stuff, but it's user-friendly and very good. So that concludes my list. Some of these accounts I've been following for a while, some of them are newer discoveries to me, and I'm just getting a lot out of them right now. I hope you get something out of them too. But if not, maybe they'll point you in the right direction. Just remember that there is so much information out there now, just waiting for you to click on it and then watch. But I can't do that part for you, okay? I can't do it all. You're going to have to pick up some of the pieces here. I mean, come on. I wash my hands of this. I can't think of a good hook. Please watch. Day 9 is here, and so am I. This video will be the first in a 4-part series in which I introduce the many tools I use to film these here videos. Now bear in mind, this is some pretty high-tech stuff. Some pretty intense filming equipment. I will begin by introducing my camera. It is an iPhone 11. Perhaps you've heard of it. I can't show it to you right now because I'm using it. But I'll take a picture of it and try to put it in the video somewhere if I can figure out how to do that. It's a very nice teal color. I don't know that that contributes to the quality of the video. I can't say it doesn't. I suppose we'll just never know. So there you have it. That's my camera. And that's part 1. Stay tuned for parts 2, 3, and 4. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about lighting. And let me tell you, it is just as fancy as my iPhone 11. Comment lighting if you're excited to learn how I get all this. Hark, it is day 10, the day I swing back the curtain and teach you how I light this space like a, well, not like a professional. Lighting, as we all know, is a very important aspect of any visual medium. So I'm excited to get into it and show you how I do it here. So without further ado, first, we have a lamp, which you can probably see reflected in my glasses. It's just a lamp. It's been here for ages. And next we have a window just there, which provides some nice natural light. It's a very sunny day, so this side of my face is probably bright. And finally, we have this thing, which is pretty good. Clips into a table over there. The light has 3 different modes: warm, regular, and fluorescent. It's actually my bedside lamp, but this twists. I do have another lamp on way over there. I'm not sure that it does anything. Sometimes I don't have it on here. You stay here. I'll go turn it off and you let me know if it changes. Anything? There you go. Those are my lights. Now I know none of it is exactly cinematic, but you can see me. And for now, that's the goal. Tomorrow, part 3, we discuss the background. I'll see you there. Are you making the one background mistake that has ailed countless content creators? Find out more after the break. Welcome to day 11 and part 3 of my series on the things I use to film these videos. Now, before I reveal the terrible, no good mistake that so many content creators make with their backdrops, I thought I'd take a moment and show you mine. Behold, my things. It's just a bunch of stuff that is in some way representative of who I am and what I like. There's a bunch of Ram stuff, pictures of my dogs. I will note that that hat, that figure, and those books change every time I film not one of these videos, but one of the community videos, the other ones, just to keep things a little lively. Otherwise, it was all just here. You're on my desk. This stuff was just behind the desk. I just didn't really give it a whole lot of thought. I already had a decent setup behind the desk, and I just changed a few things out to have a little fun. I didn't stress about it much, which leads me to the mistake. I think people overthink it, along with so many things, but I think this is the one thing that really doesn't need to be overthought. Because it doesn't matter, and no one cares. And unless it's strange and actively unpleasant, that might be a problem, but as long as you've got a wall, you should be good. I guess it just comes down to what you want to film in front of. If you want a brick wall behind you, go find a brick wall. If you want a big sheet, grab yourself a big sheet and go to town. If you want a bunch of splashes of who you are, do that. That's what I chose, just because it was fun and I couldn't find a good brick wall. That's it for today. Day 12 approaches, as does the final part of this series. It's going to be a good one. We're going to discuss the odds and ends of my high-tech filming equipment, you'll see. Plus, a new toy if Amazon comes through. So, I will see you tomorrow. Have an easy Friday. Is this going to work? Find out next time. I'm kidding. We're going to find out in just a second. It is part 4 and the final part of this series in which I am discussing the things that I use to film. It's also day 12 for those of you following along. Today, we're going to talk about the little things, the odds and ends of my filming department. We'll be beginning with the newest addition to my collection. As teased yesterday, Amazon did come through and I have a new toy, a microphone. Here's hoping I can figure this thing out. There's no guarantee at this stage. It claims to be simple, so fingers crossed. But you stay right there, and I'll be back, and hopefully my voice will sound even more buttery. Is it working? Does it work? We're wondering if it works. Should I clip it to my glasses? Yes. Okay, so from what I can tell, the microphone does work and looks pretty cool on my glasses. There is a small problem. The receiver plugs into the bottom of the phone. Now, I don't have a fancy tripod. I was going to show you this anyway. This is the phone stand I use. See? It rests right in those little things. And it doesn't fit. There's not enough space. So the receiver is too long. So I'm going to have to figure that one out. So that's the phone stand that I film with, that I use to get such a steady camera. But today I'm going to have to hold you. Next, we have this flash drive where I store my videos when I remember to do so, which was once. It has 128 gigabytes of storage and 2 different USB things. It comes in 3 colors. I have the sleek blue. And before you ask, no, I don't sell these. These bad boys sell themselves. And now we shall discuss the mic further. This is the mic part. It's where you talk. The receiver is plugged into the bottom of the phone, as I said. So that's that. And here's the box, for those of you interested. Again, I am not affiliated. This is a wireless lavalier microphone. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. Thus concludes this series on my filming things. It is obviously not a very high-tech setup. This microphone is now the most high-tech part of it, and it was $10. It seemed like a logical upgrade to make. I tried to think of something funny to include, like something I didn't actually use or need, but I couldn't think of anything. I looked around. Now, some of you might be asking yourselves, what was the point of this series? Was it just to show off all of my high-tech filming equipment? No. The point was to show you that if you set about wanting to create something, be it you want to write, you want to be a photographer, you want to make videos, you only really need a couple of things. The first thing being, take photography for example. Say you want to be a photographer. You are going to, at some point, now run with me on this, you'll need something that takes pictures. If you want to make videos, you'll need something that films. If you want to write, you'll need a keyboard and or a pen and paper. Hang on, I gotta let some of this natural light in. Just some in-the-moment lighting design. Anyway, aside from those physical, practical things that you need, in order to start creating, all you really need is the desire to do so. I've seen this message conveyed by a whole bunch of creators all over the internet, and they've probably done a more efficient job of getting the point across than I have, but I thought it would be fun to take people behind the scenes and show the physical things that I'm using to do this. to try and show you that you don't need a Hollywood studio to start. But a lot of y'all even have phones with cameras better than mine. So what's your excuse? I kid. Anyway, that was the point of the series. I hope somebody sees it and decides to just start, because that can often be the hardest part. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow for day 13. I'll think of something. Also, though, what do you think? Better clipped on the shirt or on the glasses? I like the glasses because it makes me feel like a spy. Stay tuned for more antics and good times. Cheers.